Straight to our top focus. Once again, Tamil Nadu is on the edge, and this time Cauvery wars have escalated to a new level. While DMK has called for a statewide band, AIADMK plans hunger strike as centre flays the setup of Cauvery board. Neta Kamal Haasan has also led a protest against expansion of Sterlite Copper Plant, urging the state government to take action. Take a look at the story.
Churn in Tamil Nadu politics once again. The opposition exploiting twin issues to target the ruling AIADMK and the BJP-ruled centre. Big agitation. Flash protests. The opposition trying to upstage the state and central government on twin issues. Superstar turned Neta Kamal Haasan joined the ongoing protest against the Sterlite Copper Plant in Tuticorin. Leading the fight of the people who have been protesting for the last 49 days, Neta Kamal Haasan urged for government's intervention.
This is a very naturally evolving agitation, and this has to be heeded too by the government.
Villagers in Tuticorin have taken to the streets against the expansion of the factory. They claim that the Sterlite factory, which has been operating for 25 years, has contaminated the groundwater, soil and air quality of the area, leading to debilitating diseases. Actor-turned-politician Sarat Kumar also participated in the stir, demanding the EPS government to take action.
So basically, you should look at the color of this water. This is what the people have been drinking for the past 22 years since the inception, since the time this factory has come into being here. Even though many leaders have tried to talk to them and many state governments have come and gone, but still to no effect. The people are suffering.
While actor-turned politicians including Kamal Haasan and Sharat Kumar have started flowing in from different parts of the state, this protest have certainly started piling pressure on the OPS government. While the villagers alleges that the state administration have done hardly anything for them, the ball certainly is in government's hands to ensure the welfare of the people here.
Meanwhile, Cauvery water wars also intensified in the state. DMK's working president M.K. Stalin upped the ante, calling for a statewide shutdown from April 5th. Demanding the centre to immediately set up the Cauvery Management Board, hundreds of DMK protesters gathered in Chennai, raising anti-Modi slogans.
DMK and the other opposition parties have staged a road roko at Kotam. This is demanding that the Cauvery Water Management Board be constructed. And it's now seen that police officials are trying to remove these people who are protesting.
Not to be outdone on the emotive issue, the ruling AIADMK is also promising hunger protest against the centre.
In a peaceful manner, AIADMK wants to show its opposition for the inaction on the part of the central government.
The centre, meanwhile, has sought 3 months' time from the top court to form the Cauvery board, citing possible law and order problems in poll-bound Karnataka. With Akshay Nath in Chennai and Gopi Krishnan Unnithan in Tuticorin, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me now go across to my guest on the show. Muralidharan Shivalingam is a supporter of the AIADMK. Our current spokesperson of the DMK also with us. Rangarajan is the spokesperson for newly formed Kamal Haasan's party, Makkalnidhi Mayam. Welcome, gentlemen, on the 6 p.m. debate here on India Today. Let me start with you, Mr. Muralidharan Shivalingam. Won't you see or concede this as an absolute failure of the government? As utter chaos which has taken over Tamil Nadu, it just seems either the Chief Minister willfully is not acting because he doesn't know how is it going to affect his political fortune, or he's absolutely incompetent? There are protests not only for the Sterlite plant. For the last 47 days, there have been protests for the Cauvery Water Management Board as well. Are you under pressure from the BJP?
Absolutely no. You need to understand Cauvery is not a 10-year-old issue. It's a 100-year-old issue. Even while the Britishers were ruling India, it started from there. The first treaty was signed, and ever since it's been always a tug of war. And you also should know the Karnataka government has never been a obedient government, which which obeyed by Supreme Court verdict. Always they have defaulted. So it's always been a kind of a bargaining role which we have played with them and got whatever water which is possible. Now we need to act like matured politicians. Don't behave like crybabies. Now there's a serious issue. The issue is, will centre succumb? Now this is not just a BJP issue. BJP is in power for 4 years. Now before that, what happens? It was a Congress issue.
Right. I'm sure you have. BJP. I'm sure even if I let you go on for next 5 minutes, you'll give me a million excuses of how absolutely everything is being done by the government of Tamil Nadu. It's fault of Karnataka, state governments before that, or for the last 60 years, even the Britishers that have brought in the issue.
All I'm saying
but let me get R. Kannan on this. R. Kannan is the government, is the Tamil Nadu government only offering lip service on important issues which are plaguing the state of Karnataka? Is it incompetence or willful default as far as the government of Tamil Nadu is concerned?
I think it is both. This is a politically, morally, and even financially a bankrupt government. The individual ministers and those in power might have padded the linings of their pockets, but they have, in this 1 year, done enormous disservice to Tamil Nadu, and this administration lacks even an iota of bona fide that one could grant it. So it is a long issue. It has been there for long, but we have been helping this government to devise strategy, to devise an action plan to confront the odds that are before us. The moment the verdict was announced, our leader asked for an all-party meeting along with representatives of the farmers' associations. This happened. And we decided that a panel would go and meet with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister never agreed to this meeting. And we had cautioned this Chief Minister several times about the lack of goodwill on the part of the centre to go ahead and do this for Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So, to file a contempt petition at this last minute, to go on a hunger strike, all this is bordering on, it's tragic.
It's just nothing else. It's just utter confusion. They just don't know how to react to it. And let me also bring in Rangarajan. Mr. Rangarajan is the spokesperson of Makkal Nidhi Mayam, Kamal Haasan's newly formed party. You've been Kamal Haasan went to Tuticorin just to support this protest by the people. What's the plan of action? Is it going to be hit and run politics as we have seen possibly in Delhi by Arvind Kejriwal, or do you have a long-term plan of how you're going to sustain now this protest or the issue that you have picked up, Mr. Rangarajan?
So now, I thought we were discussing about the Cauvery issue first.
We are discussing about both two issues that are plaguing Tamil Nadu. And since Kamal Haasan chose as of now to go to Tuticorin, that is why I started with you on that. I will come to you with your views on Cauvery as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, so on the Sterlite issue, it is not a hit and run politics that Mr. Kamal Haasan or Makkal Nidhi Mayam wants to practice. I think he has been a public figure, though in his cinema world for more than 50 years, has always raised his voice on various issues. So we don't have to go back to that. Now in this new avatar as a politician, this is an issue where we have enough evidence out in the open, where the expansion project which has been proposed, the approvals have been sought without a public hearing on the ground that it falls within the SIPCOT industrial area, whereas the industrial area, which is the Tuticorin Industrial Park, is yet to receive the MOEF clearance.
Right.
So it is based on misrepresentation of facts that it has been obtained. There are enough studies, even 10 years back when Sterlite was operating at 1/5.
How do you take it forward? The people there have been protesting it for the last 47 days. What's your plan to take it forward?
Correct.
It seems the government, at least in Tamil Nadu as of now, is gone completely deaf. They don't want to hear to you or to the protests that are going on.
As a responsible political party which is going to voice the opinion and the concern of the people, he is there today as amongst the people to show his support to the cause, and it is up to each one of us to put pressure to ensure that the laws of the land are not flouted. So where is the question of a hit and run issue or anything in this?
I did not accuse you of hit and run. I only asked you whether that's the strategy or there is something more that you would have on that. Mr. Shivalingam, for any political party which is ruling any state, for any political party which is in power, apart from arm twisting the opposition, the important thing would be sometimes to listen to the voices that are coming in from the ground. There are these people, those who have been protesting for the last 47 days, and not one leader from your party has gone to pacify them, to give them a way ahead. Why is it that the government is not listening to these people? Aren't they part of the people that you're supposed to rule? Aren't these the people, those who are supposed to be heard by EPS, OPS government in Tamil Nadu?
Very good question. And let me also tell you, the Sterlite issue is not with the government. It's not a government decision. It's entirely MOEF and a Supreme Court verdict. The Supreme Court fined them 100 crores last time and asked them to go ahead. And those money is lying with the collector. That needs to be distributed. Now, who has to do it? How it has to be done? Now, that has to be seen. Okay, so you can't straight away blame the government for all these. You know,
Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, which has given the consent to operate.
Very good that you raised a fact on this, and let me also apprise you of a certain fact. This plant came into being after the nod of the Tamil Nadu government. You are also responsible for what happens there. You can also be a party which can go to Supreme Court, and like you filed a review petition for the Cauvery issue, you can also go ahead and challenge this in the court. You will not do that, because as of now it just seems that the Chief Minister does not just know what to do. Your party is in peril, sir. These are the people those will be voting for you.
What you need to understand, this is not a one-year-old issue. Sterlite plant operated in the year of 1995. So it's been there for two decades. And what was DMK doing? Why is that DMK wants to cry foul right now after 20 years of
DMK was absolutely incompetent. That is why they were thrown out of the power and you were brought in. Please don't give me excuses here. What was the other government doing? Talk about what you are doing. If DMK would have done something, they would have still in power, Mr. Shivalingam. You wouldn't have been ruling Tamil Nadu. You are in power now. It's been it's almost been 4 years. What have you done?
It's a government, so it needs time to operate. You know, it can't do things overnight. This is not a private organization where one man takes this decision.
I'm sure.
It has to be a collective decision.
I'm sure for a government which is only trying to save its own people, which is only trying to be in power by hook or by crook, which doesn't know what is happening, which is only as of now involved in throwing out people, those who are close to TTV Dinakaran, which is only right now doesn't know whether they have to go with the BJP or they don't want to. I'm sure with all those confusions, you would not know what to do. Kanan, at a point right now, as an opposition party, it does give you ammunition to hit out at the AIDMK, but ultimately all these issues are not rightfully 1 year or 2 year old. It just seems that DMK also right now, because there is an absolutely incompetent government in Tamil Nadu, is having a gala time also which covers whatever incompetence you showed when you were in power.
Listen, this Sterlite was sanctioned during the Ms. Jayalalitha's government. We took over from her, and 96 to 2001 we were in power. Of course, we could be faulted for some of the omissions and commissions during our 5-year term in relation to this Sterlite. We can go back into history and unfault everyone. As you rightly pointed out, this is the government that is in power. The onus is, on them today. And after 47 days, not a single minister has spoken in solidarity on behalf of the people who are protesting this environmental menace. So that is the question. You know, the AIDMK cannot hide behind technicalities. And if they cannot hide behind technicalities, then they have these, functions to commemorate their founder leader India's centenary celebrations. The only achievement of this government is that thanks to the centre, thanks to whatever deals have been brokered between them, it has completed 1 year in office. And it is not a majority government, a government with a majority. So that is the only achievement of this government. This government must go, and we are hoping that the High Court verdict will speed up the end of this government.
Mr. Rangarajan, if I can come to you, do you even believe that Mr. Kamal Haasan, who's there on the ground, him being on the ground would make an impact as far as this government is concerned? They seems to be living under some sort of an illusion that whatever needs to be done, they are doing, everything is absolutely fine, and if you question them, it's the fault of the previous government.
There are enough.
If that's the fault of the previous government, what can Mr. Kamal Haasan do right now so that at least this issue is taken up in a very forceful manner so that there is some solution?
There was a green cover which was supposed to have been built, 42 hectares of green cover which should have been covered around the factory. He had visited it himself. There are enough reports on the ground which suggest that there is no green cover around the factory. The expansion has been got on the premise that it is within the Sipcot industrial area when it is not. So these are the voices of the people who are there, who are suffering because of respiratory and other disorders because of the pollution, and he is representing it as a citizen of the state and as a political leader who wants to bring in a change. And now just to jump to the Cauvery issue, because that was what we started with and I couldn't make my point. So there is no doubt about the fact that the Cauvery Water Management Board should have been set up by now, and there should be enough pressure which should be given to set it up. There is no two ways about it. But what are we doing to ensure that the dams and the check dams and the tanks inside the state of Tamil Nadu are regenerated? So there has got to be a solution approach to various problems, and you will see our party and our leader talk more about it in the next few days, and that is our approach to politics. Try and understand the issue.
I will also on this show as well, I would like to get some constructive solutions, at least of whatever various parties would want to do, and I would like to start from the man who's representing the government here, at least a supporter of the AIDMK, Mr. Shivalingam. I just want to ask you 2 points. Number one, don't you think that the government's inaction is giving much more foot space to newbies like Kamal Haasan and Rajnikant? You, in a sense, with your inaction, is giving them a lot of political space. They are going to eat in your vote share if you keep doing this.
I object to the word newbie, sir. So
not at all, because see, they all feel there's a vacuum there which Madam Jayalalitha left behind. So they all want to jump and try to grab it. So they need issues. So they would like to pile on to each and every issue which is happening in Tamil Nadu.
No, but you are, by not doing anything, you are providing them that platform, sir. Don't blame them for picking up issues. They are political party. They are supposed to pick up issues.
In spite of DMK trying to do all kind of hanky-panky to topple the government, we have stayed strong. We are becoming stronger. That's definitely hurting them. Now today, this Cauvery and Sterlite is not the real issue in Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu issue is totally different. There's a guy who burnt Indian flag today. I don't know whether you know or not. It's going viral on Twitter. He's burning the Indian flag, saying that I am so
sorry. I am so sorry with the state of affairs in the state of Tamil Nadu. The government supporter comes and tells me that there are 47 people, those who have been sitting. There are people from the 47 days. You know, they are getting poison to drink as water, and there is a Cauvery water management issue which will affect the entire state. And you are talking about some protest in which some joker has burned the Indian flag. The law will take their own course. You are in government. Put that man behind bars rather than giving me solutions on the issues. You are telling you are diverting the issue to Twitter. It's absolutely sorry state of affairs in the state of Tamil Nadu, and you are an apt picture, Mr. Shivalingam. You are an apt picture for what is happening in that state. R. Kanan, give me certain solutions. Give me as a responsible opposition party, what would DMK do in both these issues rather than making noise and accusing the government? Go ahead.
We would very much offer our support and constructive advice to this government. We want to be speaking in one voice. We will add our support to this government on Cauvery, on Sterlite, on anything that where we can constructively help this government.
No, what is that constructive help, sir?
Help itself.
What is that constructive help? Give me certain suggestions.
No, we're the second largest party in Tamil Nadu at the moment, and we are willing to work with them because the.
Is there a solution that you have thought about that you can tell our gentlemen on the other side of the aisle, the treasury benches, that they can work on, rather than only telling me that we will give them constructive support? Is there something that you have thought about? What would have DMK done if they would have been in power for the Sterlite issue? Go ahead with that.
We said, convene the assembly, and we said, let's pass a unanimous resolution on Cauvery. We wanted the contempt petition to be filed long ago. We wanted this government to be circumspect about the centre. We've told this government time and again that they cannot expect, with an election pending in Karnataka, they cannot get a fair deal from this government. And our suspicions have borne fruit. Our leader met with the Chief Minister on the 3rd on his request. We've been very open about this.
Okay.
No, Cauvery is everybody's concern in Tamil Nadu. It is not the concern, it is not just the concern of this particular
Mr. Rangarajan, you were talking about a party which wants to establish itself as a solution-driven party. Let's start today.
Right.
What would be your approach for A, the Sterlite issue, and B, the Cauvery issue? What is the constructive advice that you can give to the government right now? Go ahead.
No, so I just have to repeat what our leader and president has been saying right from the beginning, that establishment of the Cauvery Water Management Board is the first and foremost step that has to be done. But how do we save and how do we ensure that water within the state is used productively? So we are trying to formulate steps for that. So that is the solution, at least at our level, that we would try to bring to the people of the state. And as far as Sterlite is concerned, clearly the expansion project has been approved by MOEF, and the consent to operate by the TNPCB has been given, flouting the norms. So that should be put on hold, and it should not be proceeded with further. And in order to ensure that the people's voice is heard.
Well, we are nobody to give any advice to any state government, but at least we can hope that Mr. Shivalingam, rather than only accusing the former governments and everybody being incompetent, look within and possibly try and find solutions for the problems of the people.
By the centre.
This tutu meme on the television channels possibly is not going to get you the results. You will have to work for the people on the ground. You are giving this opportunity to opposition parties to exploit that. Thank you so much to all my guests on the show for joining me at 6 p.m. News and updates will continue on India Today. As of now, slipping into a very quick break. You can, in fact, watch this debate and other top stories on our website, indiatoday.in as well. Don't forget to download our app.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.